Hello everybody, welcome back to a brand new video on the 3D Critic channel. I am David, your host, and today I'm going to give you guys my performance review on the Under Armour Flow Future X Elites. These caught my eye and they looked very interesting when I first saw these, and I was really interested to try these out since the Under Armour is considering this the future of basketball sneakers. So I tried them on and this is what I think of them. Firstly, when it comes to the try-on experience, it is weird at first because it is like putting on a sock with this stretchy material that is fairly really stretchy overall. That way you can put your foot inside the shoe. They feel weird at first, but once you get used to it, it is fairly easy to put on. And as far as sizing, they do run long and a little wide when I went on my true size. And it kind of feels like you're swimming in the forefoot overall, and you get a lot of space and a lot of dead space. Especially the width is okay for the most part, but I do slide a little bit from time to time. And in that case, I would go down a half size to get a really conformed one-to-one fit due to this stretchy material that you have overall that conforms to your foot. And if you get the right sizing, it'll conform to your foot really well. That way you won't have any dead space inside the shoe. So when it comes to that, for narrow feet, I would go down a full size because of that. While for wide footers, you should be good to go ordering your true size because it is very forgiving in the forefoot and the material itself is very stretchy as a result. Now, since you are getting a full-length flow outsole with this crazy rippled multi-directional traction pattern that you get, you would expect that it would have beastly grip on a clean court, which it does in my case. When it came to the lateral movements, they are instant, and sometimes you get a little too much. Typically with other flow shoes that you get from Under Armour, you're going to get that same feeling, and this is no exception. And because they have a little too much grip initially, you do have to get used to it because of how the foam grabs to the floor really well. You have to get used to it a little bit and understand and to get to grips with it overall. The same thing goes with vertical movements. The hard stops are immediate, and since it grabs the floor really well, you're able to get sudden get-offs on your first step, and you're able to get really quick first steps as a result. On dusty courts, sadly, they do suffer quite a bit and they get dusty pretty quickly after a handful of plays on an average court when I was playing them. However, if you wipe them down, they don't stick to the foam, so it's really easy to wipe off. So if you keep up with your wipes, you should be good to go and consistently have that insane grip overall. And durability, to my surprise, is not that bad considering how flow outsoles in general wear out like butter in that case. But the grooves themselves are thicker than what I'm previously used to when it comes to other flow outsoles. So that was a slight factor, but you are still going to get some wear in the high wear areas, mainly all around the forefoot as well as in the heel. But it isn't as severe as other flow outsole shoes that I've tried, like the Curry 11s, Curry 10s, and the Curry Spawns 2 that I've previously reviewed. And outside of that, it is pretty good. Overall traction is beastly as long as you keep up with your wipes. And if the improved durability is a sign of the future when it comes to this shoe, bring it on. Now, speaking of something looking futuristic, is this really thick midsole that you get with full-length dual density flow foam that you're going to get. In the forefoot, they felt insanely responsive right away when I started playing in these. It felt like I had a pop in my step, but when I'm trying to get to my spot on the court, they are very quick to get on the blocks, going from side to side and going up and down. And it is very quick as a result from getting to point A to point P, which I really liked. On top of that, it has ridiculous bounce from the TPU shank that you can see on the bottom of the outsole that is embedded in the midsole itself, and it's in the midfoot that extends all the way to the forefoot, giving you a really good launch in the air when it comes to getting rebounds and contesting shots. In other words, getting other people annoyed when I'm on the court playing in these. And when you get into the heel cushioning, it is pretty standard when it comes to the overall feel. It has decent compression underfoot along with a really decent impact protection for heel strikes, but I did find it to be just a firm setup overall with a hint of softness, but it is very slight, hence the standard experience that I felt overall. However, when it comes to the overall cushioning as well as the shape of it, it is promoting very fluid transitions from heel to toe. With the shape of the shoe, it gives it this rocker motion, making it very easy to go up and down the court. And also because of the shank, you go from 0 to 100 in a blink of an eye. So you're going to be really quick going up and down the court, and you transition really quickly in these, and you are able to control the overall pace of the situation that you are in. That way you won't be too uncomfortable when it comes to anything that is being thrown at you. So overall, it is an extremely fast shoe with a very responsive feel, with really good bounce, with decent impact protection along with it. Now, if the shoe wasn't any weirder than it already is with this really stacked midsole, the material is no exception. With this, it's a stretchy material, also known as Intelligent Upper, made by Under Armour themselves. It is a one-piece slipper tongue overall, with this one-piece booty construction with 2 pull tabs in the back that helps you get inside the shoe for a really streamlined try-on experience. And when it comes to overall comfort, they feel really good under your foot, and it conforms to your foot really well, especially in the heel that wraps around your ankle, giving it a nice sock-like feel. And because it is really flexible, you don't experience any pinching in the forefoot, and it is very flexible on top of that. And since there isn't any padding in the midfoot and there isn't any tongue, it is covered by these really soft laces that you get in the midfoot, so that there won't be any discomfort when you lace them up really tightly. And as a result, you don't get any pinching from that. And when you get into the heel, you get these 2 really plush ankle pads, making it really comfortable in the heel while being very minimalistic when it comes to the overall stretchy material. And as far as aesthetics, they definitely look futuristic, to put it plainly. I do like the material itself with these ridges that you get overall. That gives it some durability, but keep in mind, on a side note, that these won't last very long because it is a stretchy knit material, and over time they will start to wear and tear on you. So keep that in mind when it comes to overall durability of the materials. But the shoe itself looks like you are on a boat, and it feels like you're floating on it, as a result completing that whole boat-like feel with like a flotation device and stuff like that. So it was really weird to play in nonetheless. But overall, the materials are flexible and comfortable, but aesthetically they look weird. Now for the lockdown, this is where it gets interesting because of the materials that you get. It is mainly relying on the you getting the right size, firstly overall, because of the sloppy fit that you're going to get in the forefoot when I ordered true to size. So for me, when it comes to the true to size fit that I went with, the lockdown wasn't great in the forefoot, and it felt like I was moving around quite a bit laterally and sometimes vertically as well. But as you get further into the shoe, especially in the midfoot, it wraps around really well and around my foot really nicely. And the laces give you extra security that helps the midfoot wrap into place. And the lockdown on the heel is great because of the sock line fit that wraps around your ankle really well. That ensures that you won't get any heel slippage when you are playing in these. So for the lockdown, it is really reliant on the overall fit and size that you get. So make sure you get the right size. And if you do, the lockdown is going to be fantastic from top to bottom. But for my true to size case, it is sloppy in the forefoot, really good in the midfoot as well as in the heel. And lastly, I thought the support was pretty decent as well, considering how high you sit in the shoe itself with this really stacked midsole that you have. For lateral stability, you do sit in the midsole a little bit, giving you this cradled feel that you get inside the shoe. That way you won't move around that much inside the shoe from side to side. And with the forefoot lateral support, there isn't much of an outrigger, so that might be an issue, because if you do take a wrong step, it will catch you out and you will roll your ankle as a result of that. So be mindful of that, and be mindful for your footwork especially. So because of that, you are mostly relying on the material, which has some rigidity to it, and it doesn't give out that much on you, and you won't roll your ankle in that respect. And you also sit in the midsole a little bit to combat that. When you continue into the midfoot, you get this long TPU plate that extends all the way through the midfoot that feels very rigid and sturdy, so that you won't experience any instability going laterally in that case. And when you also move into the heel, you get an internal TPU heel counter along with this midsole that flares outwards as well, so that the heel doesn't move around as much and you won't get any instability because of that with the outsole arch that you're going to get. And they're also pretty stable as well, with the embedded TPU shank in the midfoot that extends to the forefoot, gives you a surprisingly stable ride through and through, and it gives the shoe extra rigidity. That way your foot won't contort as much, and the shoe itself is very rigid. That way you have really good balance, whether you're trying to contort in many different ways on the court. That way you are pretty solid, locked down, and stable inside the shoe. So overall, when it comes to Under Armour's take on the future of basketball shoes, it is an interesting approach with the performance that backs it up, in my opinion. The traction is insanely grippy with a minor improvement on the durability. The cushion, while looking quite bulbous, it is super responsive and bouncy. When you move into the materials, they look futuristic while being really flexible and comfortable. Lockdown is phenomenal if you get the right size, and the support gets the job done, in my opinion. So it is a solid overall performer, and if these piqued your interest in any way, they will not disappoint you. And for $150, it is a slightly cheaper option to the Curry 11. So if you didn't like the Curry 11s, this is a suitable option for you guys to save you a little bit of money as well on top of that. But overall, this is my performance review on the Under Armour Flow Future X Elites. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Comment down below on what you think of the Future X Elites, any experiences that you have had, and if you prefer these over the Curry Spawns that I recently reviewed or the Curry 11s. I would like to know your thoughts on that as well. If you have any other questions, feel free to comment down below as well. If you want to stay up to date with future videos that I'll be posting, hit the subscribe button down below, and it will greatly support the channel as well. If you are interested in the reviews of the Curry 11s as well as the Curry Spawns, they will be on both sides of the screen right here if you guys are interested. And if you would like to stay in touch with me via social media, all of that information will be in the description box below if you guys are interested in up-to-date news that I'll be posting throughout the week. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I hope this was beneficial to you guys. And until next time, keep shooting.